What up, world? EstablishedRich coming right back at you. Miss Shyneka didn't ask Claressa Shields a hard question. She set a trap and called it an interview.
Like, real question, because I didn't been here before. How much longer are you willing to be in a relationship with somebody's husband? Because at the end of the day, that's what people are looking at.
Well, pause.
Okay.
Pause, because that's not somebody's husband.
Okay.
Papoose filed for divorce. Y'all hate to say that word, but it's the word that's out there. He filed for divorce because he's serious about me. So I'm not with somebody's husband.
Okay.
And if you're going to call him her husband, make sure you call her his wife. And also hold her accountable for what she's doing in her life. Because she has a man who she's big about. So don't make it seem like it's just one-sided. I'm not with somebody's husband. I'm with the man who filed for divorce, who's serious about me, who has done things for me that I've done for him. So that's not what it is. They say that because they want that to be the narrative, but that's not it. People go through divorces and breakups more than anything in the world. That's why it's such a big talk.
Oh, we know.
Oh, I just got divorced.
I'm in one right now.
But divorces take time.
Yes, it does.
And he's going through the processes. He's been through the courts. It is what
I know some of y'all don't like Claressa Shields. So because y'all don't like her, y'all gonna pretend that question was fair. No, it was not. It was disrespectful. And Miss Shyneka knew exactly how it was gonna sound when it came out of her mouth. She didn't ask Claressa how she felt about Papoose's divorce is still pending. She didn't ask whether the legal situation made the relationship difficult. She looked her in the face and asked her, how long are you planning on being with somebody else's husband? The question already decided Claressa was wrong before she ever even answered the question. Let's keep the facts straight. Papoose is still legally married to Remy, but he is also separated from her and filed for divorce in May of 2025. Both things can be true, and this breakup has not been secret. Remy and Papoose have been publicly going back and forth, and Remy's relationship with Easy the Block Captain was already part of this conversation.
Got a regular nigga that can rap, but just not the way we do it. By the way, he makes $50,000 per battle, has about 5-6 battles a year, so he makes at least $250,000 a year. You understand? Great credit score. I never seen a person with a credit score like this in my life, like the richest people that I've been around. But anyway, unlike some people who beg me to add their name to one of my properties and I have a fucking lien on it because they don't pay their taxes. He couldn't believe and couldn't fathom why him. So while he's sitting there, she was saying, why Hitman, why Goods? Why are you fucking lying? Why are you lying? You was devastated that a regular nigga that used to work for sanitation, got a pension plan, got a 401k, that happens to rap, was able to overcome your manipulation, was able to...
So when Shyneka called Papoose somebody else's husband, she left out all the context. She made it seem like Claressa was sneaking into a happy home while Remy was somewhere waiting for her man to come back. That's not the story I've been watching. Now, Claressa saying she doesn't consider Papoose married don't change the legal situation. Until that divorce is final, he is still legally married. But there is a big difference between a man living with his wife and secretly having an affair and a man who is publicly separated, has filed for divorce, and is in another relationship. Shyneka knew that difference. She just knew the more disrespectful version would turn it into a clip. And that is what a lot of interviews have turned into now. People are not always asking questions because they want information. Sometimes they ask a question because they want to go viral. They want the face to change. They want the person's voice to go up. And they want the 10-second clip that every blog can post. Then when the guest responds with the same energy, everybody starts saying the guest was unprofessional. You cannot invite somebody to your studio, disrespect them to their face, and then hide behind the idea that you were just doing your job. There is a difference between asking a hard question and asking a question in the most insulting way possible. A real question would have been, Papoose's divorce is not final. How do you handle the criticism from people who believe you should have waited? That is direct, that is fair, and it still gives Claressa a chance to explain her position. But how long are you going to be with somebody else's husband? That's not really a question. That's an accusation with a question mark attached to it.
But yeah, I wasn't trying to go back and forth with somebody that she's sleeping with at night. I mean, I think we all kind of looked at each other and said, yeah, we're not going to do this. Because if we would have did that, we would have never gotten to the reason that she was actually there. And honestly, girl to girl, how long you gonna still be with that man husband? That man need to hurry up, finish up his business with her. If you mean so much, he's standing on the stage with you, he's managing you, he's getting a piece of your money. You mean a lot to his pockets and his life and his survival right now. So he needs to go ahead and finish that. And Remy and Papoose story was just so big in our community. The way that he stood down for her, baby, we don't see those signs with you. You looking like Plan B. And you an A-class fighter.
Shyneka, your big fat ass sat up there and talked that shit to me. And then when I checked you, respectfully, in your face. In your face. You shut all that disrespectful shit up. Now, after the fact, you got all this lip and talking all this shit because you never got this much attention before in your life. Being a radio host, I didn't even know who you was. I came there for Jock and Shorty. I did not come there for you. But the fact that you asked a question in such a distasteful way, and I answered you like the professional that I am, now you want to go on these rants and talking about some Pat with me for this reason, Pat with me for that reason, blah, 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 blah. You didn't say none of that stuff when you were sitting there in my presence. Why you didn't say it? Why you didn't say it? Because I gave you space and opportunity. I answered you respectfully and left you where it was at. I didn't check, I did check you, but I didn't go off how somebody else would have went off on you because you was very disrespectful. So now you got all this shit to say, but didn't you just go through a divorce because you cheated on your man? So you are a part of the cheat on my husband committee. You the leader of the shit. Or is you the CEO? Like, which one is you? Is you the head or the... Because how the fuck you mad at me because I told you that my man is going through a divorce, so us do not consider him a married man. He's a separated man going through a divorce. But bitch, you sit here and cheat on your husband with a barber. And you got the nerve to talk about me? Girl, bye. And you went through a whole divorce. Me and you not the same. We not the same. So I never even knew nothing about you, Miss Shyneka. But since you want to come fucking with me, now I got to put your business out there. Because you want to be so fucking crazy toward me. I left the little interview where it was at. I left it where it was at.
Claressa was hot, and I understand why. She felt like Shyneka tried to embarrass her in front of everybody, then got braver after the interview was over. Now, I don't have to co-sign every personal thing Claressa said about Shyneka, but unless she has proof, that part should not be presented. But I absolutely understand her main point. Do not sit in my face, talk crazy, and then act like I'm wrong for checking your ass. Claressa said she checked Shyneka respectfully inside that studio, and that Shyneka didn't have nothing to say in that moment. Then afterward, the whole thing kept going online. That is why it looks like somebody chasing a moment. If you really wanted an answer, then you got your answer when Claressa was sitting in front of you. Papoose filed for divorce, him and Remy are separated, and Claressa does not view herself as interfering with a marriage. You may not like the answer. You may think she should have waited until the papers were signed. That is a fair opinion to have. But once she answered, there was nothing else left to do but turn it into content. And people need to stop acting like interviewers have no responsibility for the energy they create. Claressa Shields is a professional boxer, but she is still expected to sit there calmly when somebody disrespects her to her face. Because if she gets up, yells, or loses control, she's gonna be looked at as unprofessional. I'm not saying anybody should put their hands on a radio host. I'm saying some interviewers know the guests really can't react. They know the person has a career, endorsements, and a reputation to protect, so they feel safe pushing that line. But sometimes it's just disrespect with a microphone in front of it. And I think people are letting their feelings about Claressa cloud their judgment. You do not have to like her relationship, her personality, or the way she responded online. Just ask yourself how you would feel if somebody invited you to a show, then introduce your relationship in the most embarrassing way they could find. Most people would not sit there smiling. Most people would feel like the host picked a side and brought them in to be judged. And that is exactly what the moment felt like. Shyneka was not asking Claressa to clear up confusion. She was telling Claressa how she viewed her, then waiting to see how Claressa would react. The problem is, when you're looking for a viral moment, you do not get to control what comes back with it. Claressa is not some quiet celebrity who is going to smile, thank you for the interview, and then go cry in the car. She is going to respond, and she is probably going to respond harder than the original question. That don't make everything she said right, but it does make Shyneka's shock a little more convenient. So I'm going to take y'all out like this. Miss Shyneka had every right to ask Claressa Shields about Papoose still being married because that's part of the public story. But she chose the most disrespectful way to ask it. She removed the separation, she removed the divorce filing, and she removed everything that had happened publicly between Remy and Papoose. She didn't ask for clarity, she asked for a reaction, and Claressa gave her one. I would have preferred Claressa to stop after her first answer. Papoose filed for divorce. The marriage is over in their minds, and if people disagree, they can disagree. Once Claressa started making personal claims about Shyneka, she allowed the original disrespect to turn into a mess where everybody looks bad. But none of that changes who started the moment. Interviewers cannot keep baiting for clicks, then get offended when the person realizes they were brought there to become a clip. Ask the hard question. Just don't confuse being disrespectful with being brave. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe. EstablishedRich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.